From shifting politics to rising tensions, the welcome mat for Americans isn't always laid out across the globe. While travel influencers might show dreamy escapes, the truth is, in some countries, Americans are no longer viewed with the same warmth. Hello travelers, welcome back. This is Advent Traveler. Whether it's due to past foreign policy, visa struggles, or cultural misunderstandings, here are 8 places where Americans might not feel very at home in 2025. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and let's dive right into the video. The strained United States-Venezuela relationship has been a defining feature of the country's recent history, casting a long shadow over how Americans are perceived here. Years of diplomatic standoffs, economic sanctions, and mutual distrust have left many locals wary of Americans, especially in major cities like Caracas and Maracaibo. Political tensions and past interventionist policies have fueled suspicion, and anti-American sentiment sometimes surfaces in protests or graffiti. The government's narrative often blames the U.S. for Venezuela's ongoing inflation crisis and shortages, making daily life challenging for locals and adding to the sense of caution. While Venezuelans are known for their warmth and hospitality, Americans may find interactions tinged with suspicion or curiosity. Travelers report mixed experiences. Some are met with kindness while others sense a palpable tension. For Americans, a visit here might truly feel like walking on diplomatic eggshells. With ongoing geopolitical friction and a long history of tense relations, Russia has become an increasingly challenging destination for American travelers. Propaganda from both sides has fueled suspicion, and many Russians have grown distant or skeptical toward American visitors, especially in major cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg. Visa restrictions are strict, with lengthy application processes and frequent denials. Surveillance is common, and a nationalist resurgence means Americans may be watched more closely than ever before. It's not just about politics. The cold stares on the streets of Moscow or the frosty reception in restaurants can make Americans feel unwelcome. Even outside the capital, smaller towns may be even less accustomed to foreign visitors, and language barriers can add to the sense of isolation. While some Americans still visit for business, family, or adventure, most find that the combination of bureaucracy, suspicion, and social tension makes Russia a destination best approached with caution and sensitivity. Iran's rich culture and history are undeniably beautiful. From the intricate tilework of mosques in Isfahan to the bustling bazaars of Tehran. The country boasts ancient ruins like Persepolis, vibrant art scenes, and a cuisine that's world-renowned. Yet its decades-long antagonism with the United States remains strong, rooted in the 1979 revolution and hostage crisis, and reinforced by ongoing political tensions and sanctions. On the ground, many Iranians are friendly, curious, and eager to share their culture with visitors, often going out of their way to welcome foreigners, including Americans. But state-controlled narratives and harsh economic sanctions have created a political and emotional barrier, making daily life challenging for locals and shaping perceptions of outsiders. For Americans, travel here is tightly regulated. You'll need a visa, a government-approved guide, and a detailed itinerary, with independent travel nearly impossible. Even with these precautions, suspicion can follow your every step. Security checks are frequent, and both officials and some locals may view American visitors with caution. Still, those who visit often find moments of genuine connection, sharing tea with students, exchanging stories in a bazaar, or marveling at Iran's beauty, reminders that people-to-people warmth can exist, even behind barriers. Although parts of Pakistan are deeply hospitable, with a long tradition of welcoming guests and treating visitors as honored company, the experience for American travelers can be complicated. Anti-American sentiments still run through many regions, fueled by years of political tension, controversial drone strikes, and perceptions of foreign interference. These events have left scars on public perception, especially in areas that have experienced direct impact or instability. While Americans might find genuine warmth and curiosity from many individuals, especially in major cities like Islamabad, Lahore, or Karachi, they may also encounter cold skepticism or even suspicion, particularly in rural or conservative regions. Travelers are advised to be respectful of local customs, dress modestly, and avoid discussing sensitive political topics. With caution and cultural awareness, many Americans still find meaningful connections and unforgettable experiences in Pakistan. Although travel restrictions have eased somewhat, visiting Cuba as an American is still far from straightforward. the U.S. government restricts travel to specific categories, like educational or cultural exchanges, and independent tourism is technically not allowed. Cuban attitudes toward Americans remain complex. Years of embargoes, propaganda, and political tension have shaped perceptions on both sides. Some Cubans are curious and welcoming, eager to share their culture and stories. Others, however, may be more reserved or cautious, remembering decades of strained relations. This can lead to subtle social barriers, even in everyday interactions. Most tourism is filtered through government-approved channels such as official tours, state-run hotels, and organized excursions, which limits opportunities for genuine connection with locals. As a result, many American visitors experience Cuba from a careful distance, observing its vibrant life but rarely becoming a true part of it. Still, some travelers seek out more authentic experiences, like staying in private casas particulares or joining local art workshops, but these require extra effort and sensitivity to local norms. Once a close ally, Turkey's relationship with the United States has really taken some hits in recent years. The two countries used to share strong military and economic ties, but recent political disagreements and shifting alliances have created a noticeable chill. With rising nationalism, anti-Western rhetoric, and political crackdowns, American visitors may, face more suspicion than smiles these days. The government's stance has influenced public opinion, and some Turks are wary of Westerners, especially Americans, due to ongoing disputes over military policy, visa restrictions, and controversial diplomatic incidents. That said, Turkey is a country of contrasts. In tourist hotspots like Istanbul, Cappadocia, and the Mediterranean coast, many locals still rely on tourism and are happy to welcome visitors regardless of nationality. But in smaller towns or during political discussions, you'll definitely notice the shift, especially when politics come up in conversation. Americans traveling here should be mindful of local sensitivities, avoid heated debates, and show respect for Turkish customs and traditions. With a little care, you can still experience Turkey's famous hospitality, but it's wise to stay aware of the changing atmosphere. Bolivia has, increasingly distanced itself from U.S. influence, and that's become more obvious in recent years, especially after those past clashes with American drug policies and embassy issues. Tensions have simmered beneath the surface. Of course, Bolivia's natural beauty is undeniable. Think the surreal Uyuni salt flats, the towering Andes, and the tranquil shores of Lake Titicaca. But for American travelers, the atmosphere has become noticeably chilly. Reports of unfriendly stares, extra scrutiny at border crossings, and a general sense of unease aren't uncommon. The official government tone and grassroots resentment have quietly shifted the nation's hospitality toward Americans. While most visits are still safe, it's wise to be extra respectful and aware of local sensitivities. If you're planning a trip, do your homework, stay low-key, and remember that a little cultural understanding can go a long way in Bolivia. Tensions between the United States and China have, reached new highs, and this has a direct impact on how American travelers are perceived and treated in China today. From ongoing trade wars to high-profile tech espionage accusations, the relationship between the two countries is more strained than ever, and this tension often spills over into the experiences of visitors. While everyday Chinese people might show curiosity or even hospitality toward Americans, especially in major cities or tourist hotspots, there's an undercurrent of caution that's hard to ignore. The ever-present surveillance state, with its extensive use of facial recognition and monitoring, can make any American feel, uneasy or even watched at all times. Online sentiment, government propaganda, and strict censorship just deepen the divide even further, making it difficult for Americans to access familiar websites or communicate freely. In recent years, there have even been reports of Americans facing extra scrutiny at airports, random questioning, or being advised by their own government to exercise increased caution when traveling to China. Whether you're a student, a business traveler, or just a tourist, it's important to stay aware of the political climate and understand that in China, being American can sometimes mean being under watchful eyes. Travel is honestly a beautiful gift, but it's not always a smooth ride. As global tensions shift, it's important to, research the current climate before packing your bags. Sometimes it's not really about danger, but about understanding that your presence may stir unease. Consider smashing that subscribe button and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss out on the next upload. Don't forget to stay informed, stay respectful, and you might still find kindness in the unlikeliest places. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.